What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, if you're listening to this on YouTube, then just go ahead and hit that like button. I appreciate it that you are here. And let's just go ahead and get into this conversation / reality chat. Now, the news broke yesterday that Monique Samuels and her husband, Chris Samuels of Love and Marriage DC, formerly of Real Housewives of Potomac, were separating and going to be getting divorced after 10 years of marriage. And a lot of people did their videos, had their live streams. People were having panels talking about it. I felt some sort of way about it. Honestly, the news didn't shock me if it were true, but it was being reported by people.com. Okay, people.com is not one of these places like Media Takeout or even just some random space on social media where someone just said, I heard that this and that and the other is going on, right? So it seemed to be a credible space for news and information like that, because when you think of people.com and at this stage where they are, Monique and Chris of Love and Marriage DC, you don't really think of them too much. I'm not trying to sound spiteful or hateful or whatever, but Monique Samuels is the type, in my opinion, that likes to be on TV. She likes the limelight. She likes the celebrity. She likes what she got from being on Real Housewives of Potomac. And as much as she tried to make herself seem high and mighty about after no longer being on the show, that little check, my husband makes way more money than that, we didn't need that, it was just a fun thing for me, I believe she enjoyed the spotlight. And I do believe that she was terminated. That's just my opinion. I don't believe that she quit. I don't believe, with how things went in that situation with that fight that she had with Candace, which was pretty violent, I don't believe that they asked her to return. And I know that there have been other Housewives franchises in the past, like with Portia dragging Kenya on the reunion by her hair. Portia, even though that was wrong, Portia wasn't punching Kenya in the head and like beating her brains out, okay? Portia was wrong in that situation, but she drug her by her hair. And she was demoted. She didn't have a peach the next season, and then they eventually brought her back. In this situation, though, even though we didn't really believe Portia's tears when it came to the fight that she had with Kenya, she was apologetic in some way, shape, or form. Monique stood in it, and she was not apologizing, and she laughed about it and made mockery of the situation. So I don't believe that they wanted to bring her back. But the Real Housewives franchise, they're not really known to just come out and say that someone is fired unless it was something just like really, really bad, where it was like Jenny from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, when a lot of things that came out to be deemed as racist that she put out there on social media, where people were really calling for her termination, and they actually did come out and made us aware of the fact that she was no longer going to be a part of this show, and they removed her. Okay, so they don't really announce when housewives are fired and terminated very often. A lot of times they will allow that person to put their own spin and narrative on it for the sake of them saving face for themselves, right? So people.com doesn't seem to be an outlet to me that would be one of those spaces where they would just be reporting on Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels of Love and Marriage DC. I just don't. I really don't. That's just not what they do. They're not reporting on people like, just giving some examples. They're not going to report on an A-lister and then report on some C-level, Z-level reality star. And I know, too, a lot of people who really know who Monique is and think really high of her, they don't see her as that. But in the grand scheme of things, that's really where it is. Okay? So she loves the spotlight and the limelight. So the news came out that they were separating, and now the update is that it's not true and that she laughed it off. She did a post on her social media where she laughed off the fact that people were reporting that her marriage is coming to an end. And, you know, she laughed it off and ended the video by showcasing her rock on her finger, and that was it. But here's my question. Who would benefit from putting a story out like that? Why would someone put that out there like that? So I just want to say that it seems very suspicious. It seems very suspicious that this news came out that they were separating, and then the next day she comes out to say, not true. Here's the proof. She says in her Instagram, no better source than the actual source. Y'all already know how I roll. I give my own damn exclusives. Meet me and Chris tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on my YouTube channel, Tea with Monique. Like and subscribe. So I feel that that's news that she had planted and put out there. I'm not saying she put the news out there herself, but I believe she actually was the source, like she says in her Instagram post, to put that news out there about them separating, and then for her to come out and debunk this so-called rumor. And then she's funneling people to go and meet her on her YouTube channel tonight with her and her husband. To me, it just really seems suspicious. I honestly don't care either way. I'm not that hard pressed on it. I didn't do a post talking about them getting separated or divorced. If it were true, to be honest with you, it's not that it would have surprised me. But now that she's come out to debunk this so-called rumor, I'm wanting to know who put the rumor out there. And I'm just saying, in my opinion, I feel that she had something to do with it, because she's been known to go to the blogs, even previous to the season where the fight with she and Candace aired. She went to the blogs and put that news out there that Candace attacked her and hit her with a glass in the face and all this other stuff, because those reports came up before anyone actually saw the first episode of that season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And that's one of the things that I believe the producers didn't like. They didn't like the fact that she was going out there, spinning the story, putting the stories out there to the different blogs and just sharing her story, when none of them were supposed to be talking about anything that happened on the show prior to it airing. So I believe that Monique had something to do with it. Those are just my thoughts. You can let me know yours in the comment section. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the channel. Guys, until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.